In the hyper-connected landscape of modern life, there is a strange, sudden silence that cuts deeper than any argument. Ghosting. It's the abrupt, unilateral withdrawal of all communication. No text, no call, no explanation. One moment, you're connected. The next, they vanished into the digital ether. Why does this silent severing cause such intense emotional pain? And what psychological drivers push one person to choose disappearance over dialogue? The ghoster's motivation, the fear of confrontation. The decision to ghost is almost always rooted in avoidance. For the ghoster, the silent exit is a self-protective mechanism driven by a deep-seated fear of confrontation. Imagine having to look someone in the eye or even text the words that you are ending the connection. This requires what psychologists call emotional labor, the effort of managing your own discomfort while tending to the awkwardness, the potential for tears, anger, or having to justify their decision. This avoidance often stems from traits like low emotional intelligence or an avoidant attachment style. They prioritize their immediate comfort over the other person's need for clarity. In their mind, vanishing seems like the easier or even kinder path. The flawed logic is, if I don't give a formal rejection, I haven't hurt them as much. They are essentially trading a moment of mutual discomfort for the other person's prolonged confusion. They seek instant gratification by escaping the recipient's trauma, the pain of ambiguity. The emotional impact on the ghostee, the person left behind, is severe, primarily because ghosting creates the ultimate scenario of ambiguity. When a relationship ends with a clear rejection, it hurts, but it provides closure. The narrative is complete. Ghosting, however, leaves the wound open and festering. It activates the brain's pain centers, the same areas triggered by physical pain. But the suffering is prolonged by the mind desperately craves certainty. Without a clear answer, the ghostee is trapped in a relentless cycle of rumination, an obsessive replaying of past interactions. Was it something I said? Did I misread everything? Are they okay? This ambiguity forces the ghostee to fill the informational void, and the narrative they create is almost always negative and self-blaming. They fall into a spiral of self-doubt, questioning their judgment, their worth, and the reality of the entire connection. Ghosting doesn't just feel like rejection. It feels like ostracism or being treated as if you are invisible. This triggers fundamental psychological needs: the need for belonging, the need for self-esteem, and the need for meaningful existence. When someone disappears without acknowledging your existence, it threatens reclaiming the narrative. Understanding the psychology of ghosting is the first step in reclaiming your power. The silence is not a judgment on your value. It is a reflection of the ghoster's inability to manage their own emotional discomfort and their poor communication skills. Their behavior says everything about their limitations and nothing about your worth. While the desire for closure is natural, the ultimate power lies in granting it to yourself. The truth you need to accept is that the ghoster gave you the only answer you need through their silence. They demonstrated a lack of courage, empathy, and respect. You move forward not by chasing an explanation, but by accepting that the relationship has ended and redirecting your energy toward people who have the maturity and emotional intelligence to engage with you fully, respectfully, and clearly. The pain of ghosting is real, but the cycle of rumination can be broken. The true remedy is psychological, and requires a powerful shift in perspective. 1. Externalize the blame. First, you must externalize the blame. The urge is to self-blame, to replay every text, every moment. Stop. Remind yourself. Ghosting is not a sign of your flaw. It is a definitive demonstration of the ghoster's poor character and emotional immaturity. Their choice to vanish reflects their inability to handle conflict, not your value as a person. Repeat this mantra. Their silence is their failure, not mine. 2. Practice radical acceptance. Second, engage in radical acceptance. You may never get the explanation you crave. Trying to force an answer only hands them more power. The ultimate closure is the painful truth delivered by their action. They were unwilling or unable to meet. Grant yourself closure. Finally, grant yourself closure. Instead of waiting for their reappearance, write a final mental script. Acknowledge the loss. Forgive yourself for any misplaced hopes, and consciously close the door. This act is a definitive internal decision to redirect your energy. You are choosing to honor your worth by disengaging from someone who fundamentally failed to respect you. By taking this step, you restore your own narrative, breaking free from the paralyzing rhythm of waiting and wondering.